Hello and full moon blessings, everyone. Thank you for being here today. My name is Kelsey, and I'm going to guide you through a full moon in Sagittarius yoga flow. So we can learn a lot about the theme of the moon cycle or moon phase that we're approaching when we take a look at the astrological sign that the moon is passing through. So if you chose to practice this class with me today, I'm assuming that you are near or under a full moon in Sagittarius. The moon is said to represent our subconscious, our psyche, our emotions, and our mind. And so whenever we're in a full moon phase, it is said to be representative of a time whenever we are having a new level of clarity, realization, something that was not in our awareness clearly before is coming into our awareness now. When looking at a full moon in Sagittarius, we might feel more drawn to connect with a guiding philosophy, a personal mission statement, or an intention that feels authentic to us at our path. Sagittarius is the seeker of the zodiac and is represented by the archer. And so Sagittarius wants to aim their arrow towards the truth and is trusting that their intention to find the truth, their intention to seek out the truth is going to guide them there. When a full moon is in Sagittarius, we are being invited to stay true to our values, to stay true to our intentions, even in the midst of times whenever it's kind of challenging to do so. Even as life ebbs and flows, this full moon is really inviting us to trust that all of the waves are just part of the process, and that we can trust that if we stay true to our path, if we stay true to our mission, our philosophy, we are going to get where we are wanting to go. You might use your practice today to connect with an intention, connect with your guiding philosophy or personal mission statement, and then to move in your practice from that place, kind of like practice for whenever you're off the mat. Whenever we're on the mat, we put ourselves in sometimes challenging or difficult postures, or sometimes our mind is all over the place, and we have to continuously bring ourselves back to our intention, bring ourselves back to our breath. And this is really good practice for whenever we're off the mat and there's a lot more distractions around us. For the asanas we're going to be practicing today, we are going to be focusing a lot on our hips, our glutes, our legs, because Sagittarius rules this area of the body. So we're going to be thinking about strengthening these areas, stabilizing these areas, especially the hip joint, but also giving them a really good stretch and giving them some TLC. So we're going to go ahead and get started now in Sukhasana or Siddhasana, whichever one is more comfortable for you. I'm going to turn sideways so it's a little bit easier for you to see what I'm doing. And as you can see here, I do have a couple of props. I have a blanket and I have a couple of blocks. You don't necessarily need these, but I like to have them near my mat whenever I'm practicing, just in case. So let's start with either Sukhasana, which is like crisscross applesauce, the shins are crossed, or Siddhasana, which is just the knees go a little bit wider and you're trying to kind of stagger your heels in front of each other. Both sits bones are grounded, and then take your fingertips out in front of you and spider crawl your fingers towards the top of your mat until you start to feel a nice stretch in this right hip. Now you might stay uplifted, pretty tall. Try to keep your lower back as flat as you can. Keep reaching down through your sits bones. But over time, you might be able to drop your elbows down, maybe even stack your hands or your forearms and rest your head down like so. And we're going to start with just a few breaths here. Getting grounded in your practice right away. Starting to ask yourself, what is your intention for practicing today? What is your intention for the full moon in Sagittarius? On your next breath in, press down through your hands and your arms to help yourself come back to an upright position. And then you're going to swing your right leg around behind you so that your right knee is pointing over towards the long edge of your mat and your left shin is going towards the shorter edge of the mat, the front of your mat. And you can allow for this right hip to lift up a little bit if that feels better to you. And then take your right hand to the outside of your left knee and take your left fingertips out beside you and twist away from your right leg. You might even be gazing past your left shoulder. For me, I really feel this in the front of my right hip flexor and my inner thigh. For you, it might be the side body or the ribs. Take one more breath in. Exhale. Come back to facing towards the top of your mat. And then you're going to let your right hip drop down now towards the mat. So we're not lifting up. We're getting that right sits bone and that right glute grounded. And then you're going to walk your hands away from you at a diagonal for a variation of reclined deer. So we're not reclining all the way back unless you can do that easily. But we're not here for a super long time. So you can really just relax into the weight of your arms, relax into the support of your arms. Maybe close your eyes. And again here, this pose is kind of different for everybody, but I really feel this through my hip crease and my inner thigh, sometimes my outer glute if I'm feeling really sore there. Alrighty, let's come off of the hands, coming back forward. You can extend your legs out in front of you again. Maybe leaning back on your hands here and just shaking out your legs, tick-tock your toes. And then we're just going to do this on the other side. So either sitting in Sukhasana with the shins crossed or Siddhasana, staggering your heels in front of each other. Take your fingertips out in front of you and then spider crawl your fingers forward until you're feeling a nice stretch in your left hip. And then fold down to your edge, your pose, your practice. And as you're here, breathing steadily, just opening yourself up to an intention or a mission statement, a philosophy, letting it reveal itself to you rather than feeling like you have to create something. Next, inhale, lift your head, press into your hands and your arms, help yourself come up, and then we'll move into the deer twist. So left leg this time is going to swing around. Your left shin is parallel to the long edge of your mat. Your right shin is parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. And then take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right fingertips out beside you. Allow for the left hip to lift up as you twist away from that left leg. Taking several breaths here. On an exhale, release the twist. Let that left hip drop down towards the mat. Walk your hands behind you at a diagonal. stretching away from the center line of your body. Relax into your arms. Breathe. Start to walk your hands in, and then just like before, let's swing the legs out in front. You can still lean back on your hands here and shake out the legs. I don't know if you can hear much of it in my microphone, but there's a pretty big thunderstorm happening outside, and it's really nice for this practice, honestly. It's like a soundscape. Okay, from here, you can crisscross at your ankles and roll over your knees, or maybe roll over to one hip, swing your legs around. If you want to pad your knees with a blanket, you can. I'm going to leave that out for right now. And we're going to start moving through some cats and cows, 5 rounds here. So make sure hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. Inhale, lift your sits bones, drop your belly, pull your heart through and lift your head. Your cow pose. Exhale, tilt your tailbone down, round your spine, chin towards your throat. Your cat pose. Inhale into your cow. Exhale for cat. 3 more. Use the breath to fuel the movement rather than the other way around. Last one here. Inhale back to your neutral table, and then build your foundation. Spread the fingers wide, reach through your arms, spread your shoulder blades apart, and pull your shoulders away from your neck. You're gazing down between your thumbs so that the back of your neck stays nice and long. Find some lifting up through the low abdomen, flatten out your lower back, and then we're going to transition between fire hydrants and donkey kicks, yoga style, so we're going to be moving with the breath. You're going to inhale, open the right knee out to the right. Keep your knee in line with your hip, even if it doesn't lift up to the height of your hip. We're also not trying to really hike open the hips. You're trying to keep your lower back flat. And then exhale, bring that right knee down, and then inhale, kick your right heel towards the sky. Again, not letting the back dip down like this. Keep your back flat and use your glute to kick your foot towards the sky. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, open the right leg out. Fire hydrant. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale, kick that right foot up, donkey kick. Exhale, right knee down. 2 more. Breathe in. Out to the right. Exhale. Inhale. Kick it up. Exhale. Last 2. Breathe in. And set that right knee down. Whew. Shift your hips side to side. Your hips might pop a little bit. Mine do. And if you need to take a break off of your wrists, you can. You can roll out your wrists here like so. You could take a child's pose. Coming back into your tabletop pose from here, and we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Flatten out your back, connect to core, firm and strong through your arms and your shoulders. Next, inhale, lift that left knee out. Try to keep your back flat. Exhale, left knee down. Inhale, kick the left foot towards the sky. Keep your lower back flat. Keep hugging up through your low abdomen. Exhale, left knee down. Inhale, left knee out. Exhale, down. Inhale, left foot up. Almost messed that up there. Exhale, left knee down. Inhale, out. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Last one. Exhale, down. Inhale, out. Exhale, down. Inhale, kick it up. Awesome. Exhale, bring that left knee down. Let's go ahead and move into a child's pose for a couple of breaths. Come off of the wrists, so knees go wide, hips go back. Reach the arms forward, bring your head down. And if your wrists were really talking to you, then bring your palms together and bend the elbows. Bring your hands behind the back of your head for a little namaste shark fin action. Just a few breaths here. Inhale, reach your arms forward, lift your head. Exhale, shift forward, back into table. If you want to grab your blocks and bring them under your hands, you can. I'm going to take that option today. And we're going to step the right foot between the hands into a low Anjali asana, a low lunge. So without crashing into the hands, maybe getting light on the fingertips here, pulling your heart through, reaching up through the crown of your head. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Pulling the right hip back a little bit, left hip forward a little bit. Ground through all of the parts of your body in contact with your mat. And then on an inhale, reach your arms forward and up into your full expression of Anjali asana. If this feels like too much today, you can always bring your hands back down to those blocks or down to the floor. If you're here with me today, we're going to take archer arms. Bring that right hand behind the nape of your neck. Bring your left hand down, turning your left thumb back as you bring it down. And then bring that left hand towards your right. So it's like they're coming towards the base of your neck or towards your area between your shoulder blades. There we go. And if you can hook your fingers, you're welcome to, but even if you can't, you can really just press your hands into your body and lean your head and your upper body back into your hands like this. So either we're here, leaning back, opening the heart, or even if you're not hooked, you're here. Take one more breath in. Exhale, find half split. So again, hands can come down onto the blocks if they're not there already. We're going to shift the hips back, straighten that front leg out, pulling the hips back, pulling the heart forward. Nice big hamstring stretch here. On your next exhale, roll through that front foot, and then we're going to walk our hands around to the inside of our right leg. You're going to kickstand your left knee, so your left toes are pointing towards the right a little bit. And then from here, we're going to tuck the left toes under. You might need to wiggle that right foot out, flex back through the right toes, and send your hips back towards that left heel for a little variation on a hamstring stretch. So you're getting a toe squat on the left foot, you're getting a hamstring stretch on the right leg. You can reach your arms towards the front left corner of your mat, maybe using the blocks here for support. Head can come down if that's okay. One more breath in. Exhale, look forward, shift forward. We're going to come back around to facing the top of the mat, back into our low lunge, bringing the blocks under the hands, and then just step that right knee back, and any little wiggles that feel good are welcome here. I'm going to go ahead and pad my knees with the blanket because I'm just starting to feel like they're taking a lot. So if you have something to pad your knees with, you can bring that in if you haven't already. All right, let's do all of that on the other side. Grab your blocks if you're using them, bring them under your hands, step your left foot between your legs, between your hands, I mean. And then start by sinking into the hips. Again, we can be a little bit light on the fingertips so we're not crashing into the arms. We're lifting our hearts, reaching up to the crown of your head. And then connecting to the pelvic floor, lifting those internal muscles inward and upward. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Pull the left hip back, the right hip forward. And maybe you stay here today. Maybe you take the arms forward and up into the fullest expression of your Anjali asana today. Remember, you can stay here as well, or we can find archer arms. We're going to bend that left arm this time, bringing the hand behind the nape of the neck. As the right arm goes down, the right thumb is going to point back as we take the hand between the shoulder blades, or just at that general direction. And if you can hook, you hook the fingers and you lean back. If you cannot hook, it's okay. One hand behind the head, one hand behind the ribs, lifting your heart forward and up, leaning back this way. Last couple of breaths. Inhale, come back up through center. Releasing the arms, bring your hands down, half splits. Shift your hips back, maybe walk the blocks back, straighten that front leg. Heart is reaching forward as the hips pull back, so there's a tension of opposites. From here, shift forward into your left foot again. Bring your blocks around to the inside of your left leg. Spin on the right toes so you have a kickstand, and then tuck those right toes under. From here, if you need to wiggle your left foot towards the top of the mat a bit, you can. Flex back through the left toes, straighten that left leg again, and then as you send your hips back towards that right heel, you reach your arms out in an opposite direction. Big toe stretch on the right foot, big hamstring stretch in the left leg. Not here forever. Inhale, lift your head. Exhale, shift forward, and then bring your hands back around to frame that left leg. From here, we're going to step into our first downward facing dog. So let's just move the blocks off to the side, plant your hands, step your left foot back, and send your hips up and back. If this is your first downward dog of the day, you might pedal out your feet, shift your hips side to side. Eventually finding some stillness here. And let's pay a little bit of attention to the legs. So allow for there to be as much of a bend of the knees as you can so that you can really lift up through your hip creases, lift up through your low abdominals. Head is nice and heavy. And then whether your legs are straight or not, you're thinking about almost pressing your heels away from each other and internally rotating your thighs a little bit as you reach down through the ankles and reach down through the heels. Take one more breath here like this. And up. Next breath in, reach down through the right leg. Inhale, left leg goes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, look forward, shift forward, and step your left foot between your hands. Prepare for warrior two. Drop the right heel down, parallel your back foot to the back edge of the mat. Deep lunge in the left knee as you cartwheel the arms open, pressing up into your warrior two. So everything in the front of your body, your hips, your chest is facing the longer edge of your mat, and your arms are out T-shaped, shoulder height, looking over your left fingertips. Feeling your legs switch on. From here, transitioning into Skandasana to the back of the mat. If you need to bring your hands down to the mat or onto blocks to transition in this way, you can. If you can, you're going to bring your hands to heart center and then turn your right toes towards the back corner of your mat a little bit. And as you straighten your left leg, you're going to sink into your right knee. Drop your hips low, maybe lift the left toes. Right elbow is to the inside of your right leg, helping it press open. Lift up through your heart, broaden across your chest. Strong legs here. Even if you can really sink into this pose, find some resistance. Use your muscles. One more breath in. Exhale. Now let's all bring our hands to the mat if we're not there already. Press your hands and your feet into the mat to come up to a wide-legged forward fold. Feet are parallel, straightening the legs and letting your head and your upper body just kind of dangle here for a little bit. A brief rest. Pull your shoulders away from your neck. On your next inhale, lift halfway, hands under the shoulders. Exhale, turn your heels in, your toes out, open the knees wide, and as you drop your hips down, raise your upper body up into goddess, arms alongside your ears. Squeezing the knees open. Scoop your tailbone under. Feeling your thighs and your glutes switching on. And then look towards the top of your mat. Turn your left toes to the top of your mat. Turn your right toes a little bit more to the top of the mat, squaring your hips forward, coming through something like a warrior one, and then stepping up to chair. Right foot next to the left, hips dropping back and down, heart stays lifted. Lift up through those low abdominals. Take another inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Send your hips back and down, 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 all the way to the mat. Drop your hips to the mat, lift your legs, boat pose. 2 breaths. Exhale, malasana. Feet to the mat wide. Press through your feet, lifting the hips, hands to heart center. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Taking another little rest here. That was a lot of work through the core and the legs. Take another breath in. Exhale, bring your hands down. Pressing your feet to lift your hips into Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step 1 foot back at a time into plank, and then either take a flow or don't. We're going to meet in downward dog either way. So you'll exhale to the belly, inhale to cobra or up dog, and then exhale into your downward facing dog if you're taking that flow. Take a couple of breaths in your downward dog to reset. And then we're going to do that all on the other side. On your next inhale, reach that right leg long to the sky, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Prepare for warrior 2. Drop the left heel down. Deep bend in the right knee. Inhale, cartwheel the arms open. Warrior 2 on the right side. Look over your right fingertips. From your warrior 2, dropping it to Skandasana on that left side towards the back of the mat. Turn the left toes towards the back right corner. Hands can come to heart center, or you can bring your hands down at any point for support as you need to. Straighten the right leg. Deep bend into the left knee as you drop your hips down. Lifting those left toes perhaps. Left elbow to the inside of your left knee. Broaden across your chest. Press through the legs. Again, even if you can really sink into this pose, try to resist gravity a little bit. Okay. Hands come down, everybody. Good work. Press through your feet. Walk your hands to the midline of your mat as you parallel your feet into your wide-legged forward fold, letting your head be heavy here. Taking a little bit of a rest. Maybe hands under the shoulders or in line with your feet. Next, inhale, lift halfway. Turn the heels in, the toes out. Sink the hips low. Inhale, reach the arms up into goddess. Arms alongside your ears in this variation today. Scoop the tailbone under. Squeeze the knees open. Maybe smile. Good work. Look towards the top of the mat. Come through something like that warrior one on the right side. So you're going to turn your right toes forward. You're going to square your chest and your hips to the front of your mat as best as you can. And then we're going to step up with the left foot into chair. Left foot steps next to the right. Hips go back. Heart stays lifted. Keep breathing. Good work. Hands to heart center. Send your hips back and down, back and down, back and down until you can't help but reach the arms forward. Drop the hips down. Lift the legs. Boat pose. 2 breaths. On your exhale, plant your feet about mat's width apart. Press through the feet to lift the hips off of the mat. Malasana. Hands to heart center. Great work. Take another rest here. On your next exhale, hands down, press into your feet, lift your hips, parallel your feet to one another into your Uttanasana, and then inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into your plank, or if you're going straight to downward dog, you can go there now. If you're flowing, we'll exhale to the belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Just taking our last couple of breaths in this last downward dog. On your next exhale, lower your knees down, widen them apart. Send your hips back for another child's pose. Resting everything now. Letting your breath start to slow down again. And as we slow down our practice, really landing on what your intention for this full moon in Sagittarius is. From here, lift yourself up, and then just swing your legs around and make your way down to your spine, flat back position on your mat. Give yourself a moment to luxuriate in having some back support. And you're either going to take reclined pigeon or reclined Gomukhasana. So reclined pigeon, you cross your right ankle over your left knee and let that right knee drift away from you. And you can pull your legs closer like so if you want to. If you're taking reclined Gomukhasana, reclined cow face, you're going to cross the right thigh over the left thigh, pull your knees in, and then you could slide your hands down your feet, or down your legs to your feet, And if you can do this, then you're going to try to move the feet in opposite directions from each other, and then gently down towards the floor, not yanking, but a very gentle pull, and it's a deep outer thigh stretch. Make sure your shoulders and your neck can still be relaxed. One more breath in. Exhale, no matter what pose you took, no matter where you are, release, uncrossing the legs and however you had them crossed, and then widen your feet, and we're going to let both of the knees drop to the left, and both of the knees drop to the right. Doing that one more time on each side, knees to the left, knees to the right. Inhale, come back up through center, and we're going to do that on the other side. So this time, if you're taking reclined pigeon, it's left ankle over the right knee, pulling the legs in like so. If you're taking Gomukhasana, left thigh over right, pulling the legs in. You can stay holding onto your knees or slide your hands down your shins, grab a hold of your feet or your ankles. And as you pull the feet in opposite directions from each other, you're also pulling them down. Relax your shoulders and your neck, relax your jaw. One more breath in. Exhale, letting go of whatever you're holding on to. That right foot goes down, uncrossing the legs. And just like we did on the other side, we're going to widen the feet to the width of the mat. First time, we're going to inhale, both knees go to the right. Exhale, both knees go to the left. And then just repeating this one more time on each side. Inhale, come back up through center. And then we'll close everything off in Shavasana, our final resting pose. If you do have a blanket, maybe bring that under your head, or if your space is feeling a little bit cool and chilly, you could put it over your body. If you have any other props nearby that you want to use, doing so that you feel comfortable in your resting position. And then just finding the position that does feel best to you so that you can be here for the next few moments in stillness and in silence. Please do not skip out on this portion of your practice. It is just as important as the rest of it. Just allowing yourself to receive nourishment, receive rest. And you'll hear my voice whenever it's time to come back into this space. Enjoy your Shavasana. Remaining just as you are, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the support beneath you. Sense the space around you. And when you feel ready, start to wake your body up with some small movements, maybe fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe eventually taking a big full body stretch, breathing in to stretch from fingers to toes, breathing out to let it all go. When you feel ready, roll yourself over to whichever side is most comfortable to you and make your way from that side position to a comfortable seat where we will meet and close our practice together. Sitting up nice and tall when you arrive, rolling the shoulders back and down. And then one more time, what is your intention for this full moon in Sagittarius? Is there a guiding philosophy or mission that you lead your life with, that you want to connect with this full moon? And then taking this intention with you into the rest of your day as you bring palms together in front of your heart, connecting to gratitude. And then we'll close with one chant of Om. Wherever you are with your breath, empty out your lungs. Take a breath in at the bottom. Exhale to chant Om. Thank you all so much for joining me for this full moon in Sagittarius flow. Please let me know how it went for you in the comments down below. Let me know what your intention was if you have one and if you feel like sharing. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. I put out new classes every Sunday, sometimes a special one in the middle of the week just because. And I hope that we can practice together again very soon. Until then, namaste.